Hashtag how the rich use LLCs to protect and grow their money. Oprah doesn't own her production company in her personal name. Neither does LeBron James. And neither do the millionaires quietly building wealth in your neighborhood. They all use the same three-letter business structure that cuts their taxes, shields their assets, and multiplies their money. And most people have no idea it exists. I'm about to show you exactly how LLCs work and why the wealthy are obsessed with them. Let's get real for a second. When you make money as an individual, you're personally liable for everything. Someone slips on your property? They sue you personally. Your business tanks? Your personal savings are at risk. Your investment goes sideways. Your house could be on the line. The rich don't play this game. LLC Euro or limited liability company Euro is basically a legal wall between you and your money. It's not complicated, it's not cheating, and it's completely legal. It's actually what the IRS expects successful people to use. Here's how this plays out in real dollars. Let's say you start a consulting business and make $50,000 in year one. As a regular person filing taxes individually, you're paying roughly $15,000 in federal and self-employment taxes. That same $50,000 inside an LLC? You still pay income tax, but here's the game changer: you can take legitimate business deductions. Your home office. Your equipment. Your software subscriptions. Your car mileage. Suddenly, your taxable income drops to $35,000 instead of $50,000. That's about $5,000 staying in your pocket instead of going to the IRS. Every single year. That's $30,000 over 6 years. That's a down payment on a rental property. But the tax thing? That's actually the second benefit. The first benefit is liability protection, and this is what actually keeps wealthy people sleeping at night. Imagine you own rental properties. One tenant gets injured on your property and sues for $250,000. If you own that property in your personal name, they're coming after your savings, your retirement accounts, potentially your other properties. Game over. But if that property is owned by an LLC, the lawsuit stops at the LLC's assets. Your personal money is protected. They can't touch your house. They can't touch your Roth IRA. They can't touch anything outside that LLC. The liability stays contained. This is why real estate investors don't mess around. Most successful ones have separate LLCs for each property or group of properties. They're not being paranoid. They're being intelligent. Now let's talk about the third reason the wealthy love LLCs: business flexibility. When you run everything as an individual, you're taxed as a sole proprietor. But here's what most people don't know: an LLC can choose how it's taxed. You can be taxed as a sole proprietor, as an S-corp, or even as a partnership depending on your structure. A single-member LLC taxed as an S-corp can save you thousands in self-employment taxes if you're making serious money. Let's look at real numbers. You've built a digital marketing business pulling in $200,000 annually. As a sole proprietor, you're paying roughly $29,000 in self-employment taxes alone. But that same $200,000 inside an LLC taxed as an S-corp? You could legitimately reduce that to maybe $12,000 through salary and distribution planning. That's $17,000 a year. Over 5 years, that's $85,000 you keep instead of sending to the government. The fourth reason is credibility and asset stacking. An LLC looks professional. You can open business bank accounts. You can build business credit separate from your personal credit. You can take clients more seriously because you look serious. But here's the wealth building angle: once one LLC is generating profit, you use that profit to fund another LLC. Maybe a real estate LLC. Maybe a second business. Maybe an investment vehicle. This is how wealthy people build empires. Not with one giant income, but by systematically creating multiple income streams, each protected in its own legal structure, all feeding into each other. Here's what you need to do today. If you're making over $50,000 a year through any business activity, Euro freelancing, reselling, rental income, side hustles, Euro talk to a CPA about whether an LLC makes sense for you. It costs between $50 and $300 to set one up depending on your state, and the tax savings typically pay for themselves in the first few months. This is how the wealth gap actually works. It's not that rich people are smarter. They just know structures poor people don't. They use legal tools that are available to everyone but unknown to most. If this changed how you think about money, smash that subscribe button. We drop videos like this every single week on building real wealth. Word count, 847.